is 1080p, 30 frames per second. This is what I would love to have be the winner because of the small file sizes, but I do not have my hopes up, but we're going to give it a try. So I'll take a look at this for just a couple of minutes and then we'll revisit this when we get back to the forest. Just about to climb up Middle Ridge Road to the top of the mountain. We're still in 1080p, 30 FPS on the GoPro, and 4K 30 on the 360 camera. Let's see how these perform in this setting. It's a little slick, goodness. There goes a deer. That's one for the day. Are there more? Not right there. Looks like some evidence of some trees that were down and cut and removed. Oh, there we go. Or that. Fuel wood cutting. Florida. A little different than home. All right, Ridge Road. Not nearly as foggy as it looked like it would be up here, at least not right here. All right, I made some switches to frame rate. Right now on the GoPro, we are at 1080p, 60 FPS, and on the 360 camera still in video mode, but we're at 4K 24, which a lot of people that are teaching me about these things on YouTube call cinematic. So we'll see what that looks like. This section that I'm on right now, I hope to be a slight adjustment to the Mid-Atlantic VDR next season to add a couple switchbacks and a vista and remove a little bit of a high traffic area here in Michaux State Forest. I don't know if they'll make the change, but I think it would be a good one. It would be a net add of about 6 miles of dirt. But right here is where today's MAVDR comes in. We're turning left onto it right now. Lovely pine grove. Right here on the left is Milesburn Cabin, right here on the Appalachian Trail. This is a rustic off-grid cabin at no electric, no water, owned by the Pennsylvania Appalachian Trail something company, not company, conservatory, something with a C, commission, whatever. It can be rented out for really cheap, and it's sort of like a glorified shelter situation. I'm surprised there's nobody at it today. It's Memorial Day, though it's been raining like crazy. Anyway, pretty cool place. These are scattered all over the forest, owned by the PATC, and they can be rented out and used. We're going to keep recording in 1080p, 60 FPS, and the 4K 24 on the 360. Just here for a short time on Shippensburg Road. I want to see what it looks like on a little bit of a faster surface. So this is 55, 60 miles an hour. Speed limit 40. Did I say 55 to 60? I definitely was mistaken. I meant 40. 40 miles an hour. Okay, on the GoPro 13, we are at 4K 24. Turkey hunters, I guess. 4K 24 on the GoPro 13. Again, that alleged cinematic look. And put the 360 back in 4K 30. I don't see any scenario where I'm going to record 360 video at higher than 4K 30 yet. Just the file sizes would be unnecessary for an absolute amateur like myself. I don't need to do this at all. No one's even going to watch this. I just have this issue with not doing things the whole way. So once I decided to try it, I sort of have to figure it all out for myself. We are climbing, what's this called? Three-turn road? Something? Or it's gonna be. Anyway, I'll take that to the top again, back up to Ridge Road where I've been before today, and we'll try something else. Like 4K 30, three-turn road. Yeah, that is what it is. Alright, here we go. You can see some evidence of last year's forest fire here in this section. It was a really big one by Pennsylvania standards. Of course, the forest floor has greened up nicely, but there's a lot of evidence with what I can see, at least, laying on the ground. I don't know if the camera can see it. And the trunks of some of these trees. I forget how many acres that fire was, but it was really significant. Also amazing to see how quickly the forest starts to regenerate itself. Just enough mud to keep me honest, at least visually. Can't say I actually feel it on the tires, but I know it's there. Plays with your head. I love these tires so far. Dunlop Trail Max Missions. They get a lot of love from guys who probably ride a lot less dirt than I do. They get a good bit of hate from people who ride a lot more intense dirt than I do. I feel like I'm a pretty true 50-50 rider. I wouldn't say they're a true 50-50 tire, at least by conventional definitions, although I've been really impressed. On dry stuff, I feel invincible, and honestly, on this stuff, I feel invincible. It's just the reviews I've read from people saying, "Oh, watch out in the mud. Oh, they're so slick when the traction is low." Even though I haven't felt it, I still can't get it out of my head. This is not mud. This is just a wet dirt road. I'd prefer to stay away from the thick stuff no matter what tires I had on a bike this heavy. Still the MABDR, by the way, section 5, section I know like the back of my hand. I think sometimes this section doesn't get as much love as it deserves because the southern portion of it in Maryland, there's so much pavement and it's so much rooted toward history, like Harper's Ferry and Antietam Battlefield and stuff like that, which is great. I mean, if that's what you're into. But if you do sections 1, 2, 3, you hit 4, it's very paved, and the southern portion of section 5, you're like, what happened to the dirt? And then you hit the Mason-Dixon line, and it's dirt. Again, pretty much to New York. Road, the spine of Michaux. Alright, I'm going to stop and change modes again. So this is 4K 30 on the GoPro, and you know, I can't even remember if I've done this one yet. 4K 30. We did 1080p 30, 1080p 60, and 4K 24. Yeah, are we moving our way up? I'm moving up. 4K 30, I think. I think this is the first time. Anyway, this is a very straight stretch of ridge road. So I'll do this one just on the GoPro 13 at 4K 30. Especially in case it's the second go around. And we'll switch again, and I think we'll pretty well have it covered. Alright, Woodrow Road. Let's make some changes. We'll do that at the top of the hill. Whoa! That was a little bit of slick. The AT. Alright. This is a good place to stop and make a few changes. Of course, those mountain bikers are like, what the heck is this guy doing? I'm learning to use my GoPros, dudes. Apparently also learning how to use my clutch. There we go. Of course, we pull out at the same time. Morning. Hi. All right. So the GoPro Hero 13 is on 4K 60. I have no doubt it's going to look great. I don't think I'll ever use it, just because the file size and the battery life and things that I just don't really want to worry about. This is cool. I love the idea of making videos. But what I'm doing right now... Oh, what do we got going here? Is that a tree? Looks like maybe somebody's already taken care of it to a degree. Yup. Thank you, whoever. Or maybe that was just God that did that. I don't know. Anyway, made it through. I love the idea of making videos, sharing something that I love, particularly with people that I love who will probably never actually do it. I love that idea. I don't love the idea of thinking so much about videos and capturing shots, the idea of being a creator, that it distracts me from the writing that I love. So the reason why I'm doing this is to try to figure out what maybe is my favorite way for these videos to look, or favorite couple of ways for these videos to look, to load those in as presets and just use them and not really think about it beyond a testing scenario like today. I love these pine groves. They're all through this forest, especially on the northern part. I won't go there today, but 5 minutes from here is a state park called Pine Grove Furnace, named after its furnace as well as its pine grove. It's also the halfway point of the AT, where the half-gallon challenge exists. Hikers who are doing the whole trail from Georgia to Maine stop at the halfway point. There's a little general store that has some of the best cheeseburgers you could ever have in your life. And the half-gallon challenge is a half gallon of ice cream eaten entirely by one person in an hour. I've never hiked the trail. I've never tried the challenge, either the trail or the ice cream challenge. I imagine I'd have a little bit of an easier time with the ice cream, but it's remarkable how many people do it. It's that way, to the left. We're turning right. PA 233. Alright, that was Woodrow Road in 4K 60 on the GoPro. 4K 24 on the GoPro Max 2 360 camera. And I am going to stop, and I'm going to switch back to 1080 30, right where I started, just so there can be a direct comparison once this is put together between what I think is the best I would ever do at 4K 60 and the worst I would ever do at 1080 30. What does that change look like? So you tell me, what does it look like? 1080p 30 frames per second. Is it good enough to justify getting like 11 to 12 hours out of a 256 gig micro SD card? Or is twice the data on the card worth it for a slightly better video? I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know my thoughts. But, you know, I'll know when you know. So feel free to let me know what you think. Or let me know what you do. What's your philosophy? What compromises do you think are worth it? What settings do you swear by? Your input is helpful as I develop my own. So I think I'll end this experiment now. And for the few of you that stumble upon this video that might have interest in figuring out the same kind of thing, I hope you found it helpful. I'm planning to do more, so don't hesitate to like or subscribe. You could be one of the first. Until next time. Today's FPS battle video was brought to you by dads who aren't nearly as cool as they think they are. Dads who are way cooler than their kids think they are. Midlife crises and the Pennsylvania State Forest System, unofficially.